What a nice day to build housing in San Francisco. Hi, everyone. I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and welcome to San Francisco at the corner of 3rd and Harrison, where we are going to build over 500 units of housing. Man, I don't think I have ever signed a piece of legislation supporting housing that has made me happier than the one that I'm about to sign today. You know, President Peskin, I want to take us back just a tad bit, because you remember when you were on the board of, when you came back to the Board of Supervisors, the work that we did together by providing the opportunity for the Board of Supervisors to make legislative decisions instead of leaving it in the charter, understanding that it is so important that we do economic feasibility studies to ensure that the decisions that get made around our requirements for housing don't impact our ability to build. Now, we know there are a lot of things for housing that are not within our control. The cost of materials and the economy and setting interest rates as a whole. But there are things here locally that are within our control. And I want to take this opportunity to really appreciate so many people who came together with the Technical Advisory Committee, who worked day in and day out to ensure that we really dug deep. We fulfill a promise that we made to the people of San Francisco, that when we make decisions about inclusionary numbers, if the economy changes in any way, we will reevaluate those numbers to determine if they should be either raised or lowered. And we will not play politics with the need to do everything we can to build more housing in San Francisco. And today fulfills such a promise. No, it is not everything we need to do to get to the 82,000 units that San Francisco needs to build in order to fulfill our commitment to the housing element. But it's an incredible start. And so what does this mean? What this means is that we have come together with stakeholders. And I want to appreciate President of the Board, Aaron Peskin, as well as Ann Topier in my office for the hard work that she and the various TAC members did to get us to this point. I even said one day when Ann was in my office, what did you do to President Peskin to get him to be so cooperative? I'm just not used to this. I don't know what kind of magic she did or how she worked this committee in the way that she and President Peskin and others did to make this happen. But what I appreciate most is it shows the power of collaboration. It shows what can happen for the greater good of our city when we are willing to come together and to negotiate and to compromise and to do what is in the best interest of San Francisco. And so what does this do? Well, this unlocks thousands of units that are now possible because they can get the financing necessary to get these projects done. What does this do? It creates a number of various layers of commitments that we are making to not just wait years to make adjustments to inclusionary numbers, but to look at inflation, to have built-in mechanisms to ensure that we don't wait around for policies to be passed or changed, but we're able to move forward now with projects that are in the pipeline to be approved and projects that are already been approved, so that we can unlock housing in San Francisco, so that we can break ground and build more all over San Francisco, including downtown. And what does that mean? It means we're building housing, but we're creating jobs. So I want to really thank all of the various labor organizations, from the plumbers to the carpenters to the electricians, all the people that are responsible for building housing in San Francisco. More housing means more job opportunities, and we want to make sure that we are building so much housing that we could barely find the workforce to do it. That is our goal, but more importantly, and I know, go ahead, clap labor, they're excited about that. But more importantly, affordability is a real challenge. And we want to make sure that especially the next generation of San Franciscans, our various layers of workforce, from those who we know can maybe afford market rate to those who are in between, our bus drivers and our workforce in San Francisco and others, and to those who are struggling to make ends meet. We want to make sure that we have as much housing as possible to ensure affordability for different layers of the various job opportunities that exist all over San Francisco. So we got a lot of work to do to get there. And as I said, this is a very, very important first step. We know we have to do so much more. We have to be more aggressive than ever before if we're going to achieve our goal. San Francisco has over 50,000 units that have already been approved. Can you imagine what would happen if all of a sudden the doors are open to 50,000 units all throughout our city, and what that could mean for the future of San Francisco, what that could mean for what is happening right now with new technologies that are emerging in every part of San Francisco, not just downtown, but in Pier 70, at the Dog Patch, and all the things that we are doing because San Francisco has become the artificial intelligence capital of the world. We are leading in those industries. Of the top 20 AI companies in the world, 8 are right here in San Francisco and more to come. So we have to make sure that we are building the housing necessary to meet the need, to meet the demand, that we are doing everything possible. And this legislation that I am about to sign today is a significant step in the right direction. So I'm looking forward to breaking ground here in those 500 units as well as other parts of our city. Let's get the financing, let's get the jobs going, let's make magic happen for the city and county of San Francisco. And before we sign the legislation, I want to take the opportunity, because this doesn't just happen because we want it to happen. This happens because people come together and they do the hard work to make it happen. As I said, President of the Board of Supervisors, Aaron Peskin, Ben Rosenfield, our controller, Rich Hillis, the director of the planning department, Sarah Dennis Phillips of OEWD, and Ann Topier, who worked her magic, Ted Conrad, who was a part of this team as well from the city side. And I want to thank all of the members of the TAC who came together to fight it out on the inside and emerge together on the outside. I want to thank Century Urban Consultants, and I really want to thank the developers of Strata, Michael Cohen and Jesse Blau. Thank you so much for hosting this event and all the work you do. Jim Morrison with Hines, Oz Erickson, one of our fearless developers here from Emerald Fund, Paula Paradise from 530 Howard Street, Enrique Lende from Associate Capital, Dan Safir from Prada, and Ali from Prada. Bill Whitty and Matthew Whitty from Related, Chris Meany from Wilson Meany, Carl Shannon from Tishman Spire. Thank you so much. And we couldn't do this work without the incredible people whose hands build these units. The carpenters, thank you so much. And the building trades. And of course, many of our housing advocates. Jane Natoli is here from YIMBY. Thank you to Spur, and thank you so much to Corey from the Housing Action Committee. It is a village. We won't stop. We can't stop now. First step in the right direction. And with that, before we sign this legislation, I'd like to introduce Supervisor, President of the Board of Supervisors, Aaron Peskin.
Thank you, Mayor Breed. The mayor got it just right. This is government working at its best, collaboratively, based on actual data. And I have to say, the meetings that we had over a period of months were actually very pleasant. They were not contentious. They were informed by experts. All of them I was going to thank, but the mayor has thanked each and every one of them. I will say that Ann Topier and the Office of Economic and Workforce Development were splendid, including I think we've nicknamed him Ted Excel Spreadsheet Conrad. 22 years ago, San Francisco was at the leading edge of creating affordable housing in new market rate development. That legislation was carried by my then colleague, Supervisor Mark Leno, who worked very closely with Oz Erickson, and we created one of the first on-site inclusionary affordable housing laws in the United States of America that has been copied by cities all across the country. But it was never meant to be static. We enjoyed robust times, and that 10% initial number crept up to 15% and eventually to 20%. But when times are tough, that number has to be adjusted in a way that allows new housing starts to happen. The mayor understood that. The entire Board of Supervisors, or almost the entire Board of Supervisors, understood that, and that is what led to this process. Mayor Breed referred to the fact that unfortunately for a little period of time, the number got put in the charter at 12%, and nobody could bring it up in good times, couldn't bring it down in bad times. We took that out of the charter, and we made a solemn promise, which was we would revisit this every few years and adjust the inclusionary number accordingly. And we kept our word, and that is exactly what happened. Now, our job is not done, because as these significant reductions in the requirements for on-site affordability have gone down, this city that has an obligation to build 82,000 units of housing, 46,000 of which, the majority of which, need to be affordable, we've got to figure out a way to finance those. And we have that mechanism, and it is part of this conversation, and that the mayor and I are also collaborating on, and will realize itself in an affordable housing bond that the people of San Francisco will have the opportunity to vote on this coming March of 2024, in the amount of $300 million. So I commend that measure to you. The mayor and I introduced that earlier this week, and we have to get that passed. With that, it is my pleasure to witness this signing. It truly has been a collaboration, and I will close by saying it is one of many collaborations. It is the kind of collaboration that we had relative to adaptively reusing vacant buildings in the downtown core that we teamed up and passed. It is along the lines of the collaboration that we had with Supervisor Melgar and her legislation to enable more housing in the city and county of San Francisco. Our work is not done. I look forward to more collaborations going forward. Thank you, Mayor Breed.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Cohen from Strata. Thank you all for coming today. It's really fantastic to have you all on this humble parking lot, which we are advancing plans to build this incredibly gorgeous 500-unit residential building. And I have to say, those plans are much brighter today because of this legislation. Indeed, this legislation is probably the most impactful housing production initiative to come out of San Francisco in at least a decade. And it's so important because it directly addresses the single biggest barrier to housing production today, which is financial feasibility. And everyone has acknowledged there's still a lot of work to do, and there are things indeed like Fed interest rate policy that are out of the city's control. But by significantly reducing the housing production costs that are within the city's control, this bill will cause much more housing to be built much sooner. It may not happen overnight, but over the next coming years, this is going to have a huge impact. In addition to what it does, this bill says a lot. One, it directly acknowledges that we cannot hope to begin to address the housing crisis in San Francisco without significantly increasing the production of market rate housing. Even more importantly, it shows that when the stakes are the highest, leadership in the city and county of San Francisco can get together and come up with pragmatic, real-world solutions. And I have to say, for the mayor and the mayor's team and Supervisor Peskin and the TAC, including my partner Jesse and everyone else, it's kind of remarkable to me because you guys did something really important, really well, really quickly, with no drama. So for that, I would say thank you. God bless. And I think Rebecca is going to come up.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. I am Rebecca Foster, and I had the honor of being in that inside closed doors fight on the TAC. Not really. It was pretty low drama. And I am also the CEO of the Housing Accelerator Fund. And those two things are really connected. We launched the Housing Accelerator Fund in 2017 as a public-private partnership, really to turbocharge the city and affordable housing developers' ability to produce and preserve more affordable housing faster and more efficiently. Since then, we've raised hundreds of millions of dollars of capital to bring to San Francisco projects that we didn't have in San Francisco projects, made over $400 million of investments, and supported over 2,000 permanently affordable homes throughout the city. We love and we finance projects that range from 4-unit small buildings through the Small Sites program with the city in neighborhoods around the city that help residents stay in their longtime homes, to amazing, beautiful buildings like just down on Howard Street, TNDC's new 200-unit building at 921 Howard that is just over the next few months welcoming 200 families, mixed income to affordable housing in San Francisco. And clearly, I don't need to tell anyone here that getting affordable housing, getting any housing built in San Francisco is complicated, hard, takes a lot of grit. And for us, it's usually full of way too many negotiations, a lot of challenges with capital raising and endless spreadsheets, like Ted. And like on the TAC, we spend a lot of time looking at the math of what it takes to make projects work while trying to balance both the critical importance of delivering each and every affordable home faster, like this year starting construction, not 7 years from now starting construction, and at the same time getting the systems and policies right so that we can massively scale the overall delivery of housing in our city to hit those 82,000 necessary homes for future generations and for people who live here now. We all keep at this hard work together because we know how important each and every incremental win is, like the building that will be on this parking lot. Those wins are in the form of buildings that are homes for all of our neighbors. So serving on the TAC with my great partners and working with the incredible city staff that the mayor mentioned was really an honor, and it's an extension of all this work. It was an incredibly collaborative crew, and I did not go in expecting that level of collaboration. I don't think any of us did because this is San Francisco. And we just spent our time deep in the weeds and really focusing on the imperative of kickstarting the delivery of more housing as soon as humanly possible, while against all kinds of headwinds, like the mayor mentioned, and we're all experiencing, while balancing that we're ensuring we have the resources we need to build the future affordable housing that the city so desperately needs. So thank you for the honor of serving on the TAC, and super excited for this legislation and the affordable housing bond that Supervisor Peskin mentioned. Thanks.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you to everyone's joining us here today. Now, for what we came for, the signing of the legislation to make it official. All right. You ready to sign this legislation? Yes. Yeah. I haven't seen this many smiles in a long time. It is official.